process in selecting songs for the album?
All right. Well, yeah, I select things. First of all, I like to select songs. They have to connect to me. They have to do something to me. They have to really hit me, in the gut. And I want them to be beautiful. The lyric has to be beautiful. It has to be well constructed. I don't want something that was just frivolous that somebody thinks he or she is a composer and they just make a lot of different sounds and that. There has to be a focus. There has to be some sort of arc for me.
That's what you said, Ponciana. It's just so beautiful.
You isn't it beautiful? That was like a last-minute decision. I'd completely forgotten about that. I mean, I've always wanted to record that, but Darío, the pianist, said, how about Ponciana? Not that I didn't have enough, I have too many. But I thought, now what a great idea. We just went to the studio and did it. But that is lovely. That is a beautiful melody and beautiful, very lilting, wonderful sounds. But I choose songs that have something to say, and they also, for me anyway, to tell a story of any song, I have to feel, first I have to understand it. I have to understand the language, which is why I learn languages.
Gotcha.
If you don't know what a song is about, how can you possibly sing it and make any sense of it? How can you put any feeling to a word you don't understand?
Right.
And not sing phonetically, you have to know what you're singing about. And even in your own language, you have to think about it many, many times so that you can really know what it's trying to be, what is being said, what's happening. And then I also like things that have not been done on a regular basis, and every recording and every single singer in the world has sung, because why do it again unless you have something extraordinarily interestingly new that you want to bring to it?
True.
Or, for example, like there are songs that have very definitive interpretations. There is nothing that can better Chet Baker's My Funny Valentine. He sang it when he started out, in the middle of his career. I have all versions of it until the end. And every single time he did it, it was beautiful. Nobody can touch that. I want that to be in my memory until I die. I don't want to do it because I respect what he did. It can be no better interpretation. Same with Shirley Horn. She did things to songs that nobody had thought of doing. It was so simple, but so beautiful and so touching. And the thing is, I believe her when she sang. I want to believe a singer. I don't want somebody who's just spouting lyrics.
Right.
Because, a composer and a lyricist didn't do this work so that a singer could suddenly look good or sound good. They didn't write it for me. There was a higher purpose for writing this music. It was either part of a show or it was something they felt they wanted to write. It's a story that has, some kind of message. And if you don't connect, if you haven't experienced any part of that message, you really shouldn't touch it. If you really love that song, leave it alone until you've lived it. Because, you hear these young girls singing about black coffee. They never stayed up all night, not even studying for exams. So you have to live to be able to know how it feels.
That's true.
To say those words. And it's not about histrionics, for me anyway. It's not about anything but really feeling it in your heart. And if you do, I think, in any language, the audiences will know. People are really smart. They get it. They know when you're telling something from your heart.
Right.
And if you really love something, you can't hide that. It's impossible to hide that. And so I take enormous pleasure in discovering and uncovering songs that are kind of forgotten. For example, something like The Shining Sea. It's not an unknown song. Johnny Mandel is a well-known composer.
Right.
And Peggy Lee wrote the lyrics. But of all his songs, it's one you hear the least in a funny way. And for me, it's one of the most beautiful.
It is beautiful, yeah.
And she did incredible lyrics that, and that story really gets me right in the gut. That is, if you read it, you want to cry. It's a beautiful story. Very sad, and then I realized, when I did all these things and I had these lists that run forever, and eventually I choose, for some reason, I just have, I do it instinctively and intuitively. And when I've got this whole collection of songs together that I've recorded, then I look for the unifying thread, and there always is one. And in this one, they were really about, stories about longing for something that once was, that one loved. It's not like you left me and I hate you, it's nothing like that. These are memories, and that's what I call them. These are phantoms of loves gone by.
Love and beauty is...
And they all have to be. If they don't have beauty, I don't want to bother.
Okay.
There are others who can do that better than I, And I don't like to, I like my interpretations to be not imposing myself on the music. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's my take on it, but it's not my imposition.
Gotcha. And the listeners will feel all this. They will feel all of your passions and your beauty and your love within the songs on Phantoms of Love.